walk in
Jerusalem,
just like John.
and he declared he'd meet me there.
To walk in
Jerusalem,
just like John.
when Peter was preaching at Pentecost.
To walk in
Jerusalem,
just like John.
he was endowed with the Holy Ghost.
To walk in
Jerusalem,
just like John. I want to be ready. I want to be ready. I want to be ready to walk in
Jerusalem,
just like John. I want to be ready. I want to be ready. I want to be ready to walk in,
Jerusalem,
singing,
Jerusalem,
shouting,
Jerusalem,
just like John.
You just keep getting better, Dave. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord. Help us all to hear your good news message this beautiful Sunday morning. Amen. How many of you had kids in the car and you were on a trip and they kept whining and crying and beating each other up and you got tired of it and you reached back, you pistol whipped them and then you said, hey, I've had enough, I can't take it anymore, Dad's trying to drive. And one of them managed through the tears to squeak out, when are we going to get there? Are we there yet? And I always had the same answer. Lorna didn't even bother to answer because she knew what I was going to say. We're about halfway there. The worst is over, kids. You can stop beating each other up. We're going to get there, but we have a ways to go. I always remembered those words, my reaction to the kids whining. And, you know, it's interesting, in the Bible, the word half is not there. You don't do anything as a Christian half-heartedly, do you? And can you be, I went to the gas station this morning over in Berlin Heights, and I asked the table there, you know, you got everybody, and I said, can you be half a Christian? And they looked at each other, picked up their cup of coffee, drank a little bit. Can you be half a Christian? I don't think so. Because what he asks of us is to love him with his whole heart, not half our heart, and to love our neighbors with all we got, as much as we love ourselves. You know, every coach, every teacher, every professor, every minister that I've known, loved, and respected said the same thing. Give it all you got, Dick. Don't leave it anywhere but on the field. Leave it in the pulpit. You got to give your all. Then you won't feel guilty later on, like, oh, I wish I'd done that. I wish I'd said more about this. You give 120% and then you walk away. That's what God did. Did he send half a son to die on the cross? Did he only half die? I don't think so. I took a little test this week. She didn't know I was testing her. I had a glass of water. I filled it halfway. And I said, honey, is this glass half full or half empty? You know what she said? It's half empty. I said, no, it isn't. It's half full. If you ask that question to somebody at home, is it the optimist that says it's half full? Is it the pessimist that says it's half empty? In your life, when things get a little rough and the glass might be half full, do you say, oh man, my life is going down the old chute. You know? How many of you are over 50 years old? You're more than halfway there, folks. Stop crying and beating each other up. I say that with a smile on my face because at the other church, there is a young lady I told you about, Ruth Lewis, who graduated from Birmingham High School in 1937. This Saturday she turns 100 years old. And I talked to her on the phone and I said, when you were 50, did you know it was half over? She laughed. We don't know how much time we have, do we? We're just supposed to do the best we can with the time that He allows us. And if we're here, we got a purpose. And we're supposed to give it all we got. What else? I'm trying to think of other sayings that involve half. Half a loaf is better than none. You ever heard that? Isn't it better to have something rather than nothing? I guess that's what it is, but you can't be half saved, can you? No. You're either in or you're out. How many of you play poker or cards? We're not allowed to, isn't it? I saw those hands. I caught you dead that. I occasionally do it on my computer, but everything in moderation is okay, all right? But I love it when they show these big money games and the guy says, I'm all in. And he pushes all this millions, $100,000 in there. I'm all in. That's what God wants from us. He wants us all in. He doesn't want part-time, half in. You know, I'll go to church half the time, the other half I won't. Okay? When I looked at the scripture lessons, I had a lot of fun with it. And Lorna helped me besides the half cup of water. The first scripture lesson is from Proverbs. Solomon wrote Proverbs. Solomon asked for wisdom, he got it. These are supposed to be words of wisdom from Solomon in the book of Proverbs. And what's he says? He says a hope that you have, a goal in your life that you really care about. If you keep putting it off and it never happens, it makes you sick. How many of you have been sick in the last 6 months with anything? Okay. Were you half sick, Jacqueline? No. You don't get half flu. You're either sick or you're not sick. Right? You can't control disease in half your body and the other half is 100%. That's what Proverbs is talking about. So I went to the nursery with Lorna and we tried to find a tree. Because he says in there, the tree of life, you know, if part of it's dead, don't just cut it off. You gotta fix it, you gotta deal with it. So we found this tree, I couldn't believe it. Half of it has green leaves. Half of it is dead. Kind of ugly. Look at the bird. Isn't paying attention. The bird is on the side that's alive. It doesn't go to dead branches. In your life, when you're alive in Christ, it's wonderful. You're green, you're happy, you're smiling. And this stuff, not so good. Don't be half a Christian. Don't be a half-hearted Christian. Don't put off God's goals and purpose in your life before it's too late. And you know, it's hard for a bad tree to produce good fruit. It's hard for a dead tree to produce any fruit at all. voice, you know, you can say, you know, if you're losing your voice, it's partially dead. And then give it to Janet when you're tired of it. Folks, I don't know why we have so many Christians that are given a half-hearted effort. You know, they're ashamed of the gospel, they're ashamed of their relationship with the Lord. You know, part of them is dead, and the other part's kind of alive. We've all had disappointments. We've all been roughed up with life. There's no question about that. Life isn't fair. Want me to give you an example? When I start to feel sorry for myself, I think of celebration services. I did one on Friday for a family at the other church. And I know she wouldn't mind me sharing this. He was a great guy. He passed away. We're celebrating his life. She had 3 sons, daughters, all there surrounding the grave. We had a nice celebration service and said goodbye to her husband. She goes home to celebrate with the family, some private time. I go home to celebrate with my family. And I get a call about an hour later. She had a stroke when she got home from the service for her husband. I got problems. You got problems. You're complaining in the back seat. Come on, folks. Let go. Let God. Hang in there when it's difficult. The second scripture lesson is Psalm. David is talking about it. And I'll be real quick with this because I love David because he's talking about your guardian angel. Did your parents, when they put you to bed, tell you, yeah, your guardian angel will be here, it'll protect you? Anybody have that? My mother used to say it. You'll be all right, Dave. Your guardian angel will protect you. And I said, is my guardian angel going to protect me from my brother Scott? Because he comes in and beats me up all the time. Because he's 4 years older and felt he could get away with it. And she said, oh yeah, guardian angel protect me from that. She walks out the door, he's under my bed. Our guardian angel is with us 24/7. And I have an insurance man like you have, okay? The insurance man called me and said, what are you talking about this week, Dick? And I said, life. And he said, oh, I got a new life insurance policy for you. Can we talk? And I said, sure. He said, it's called a half-life insurance policy. And I said, half-life insurance policy? Yeah, it's right here. You know, I don't lie. Says, here's the quote. Pastor Dick, I will cover you $1 million in the case of your passing if you pass on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Sunday before noon. If you pass on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, or Sunday afternoon, you get zipped. It's a half-life program. God doesn't cover us half the time, does He? Your life, my life is protected 24/7. And eventually it will be perfect and will never die. Whoever believes, anytime, shall never die. When I read Romans chapter 8, and it's one of my favorites, if you have nothing to do, read Romans 8, you know, this afternoon. Browns play tonight, so you don't have to worry about it. Paul really lays it out. And he talks about a lot of very important things. But most of what he talks about is love, the relationship between you and God. And I'm going to use an example of a loaf of bread, because the word bread is in the Bible a lot. Isn't that a nice piece of bread? Yeah. They just cooked it this morning. I got it. It was warm. Trust me. said, "Ah, I wish I could eat it. I can't. There's wheat in here. There's flour in here that would give me rickets and berry and everything else. She can't eat it because it was made with butter. What good is this bread to us? Not much." But you know what God said? He said, let's break bread together. Didn't he? Isn't that the first thing he did on Thursday night, Monday, Thursday? He said, I'll wash your feet and then we'll break bread together. We still say that. You want to come over to the house and break bread together? Some people say that. I know you guys don't say that. But what do we do at Holy Communion? Take, eat, this is my body. Bread represents the body of Christ. Nothing can separate you from God's love. That's the problem with our world today. We don't want to give everything. We don't want to love everybody, even our enemies. We'd rather break up, quit the church, or give God half time, not full time. You know, what's he say? Love me with all of your heart, not half your heart. We have to get more of a commitment. We have to be 120% together. Nothing can separate you from God's love. Not even gluten-free or dairy-free. Only your lack of belief can separate you from God. Who loves Italian bread that's cut in half? With my hands all over it. Good hands. All right. Mary Janicek said she's got great hands. She used to play center field. Mary, I can't throw it any better. And lastly, we've got Jesus talking at various miracles throughout the New Testament in the Gospel lesson. And I know it might have been hard to follow, but everywhere Jesus went, he healed people. And everywhere Jesus went, he did miracles. You know, the centurion, the lady at the well. He did a lot, and he'd always comment on their faith. He was amazed. Go, your faith has made you well. I haven't seen faith like this in all of Israel. Or, in that scripture lesson it says, I was amazed at their lack of faith. I wonder if Christ came to this church, would he say, I'm amazed at their lack of faith? Or would he say, wow, that church is filled with a lot of good and faithful servants. When we see our grandkids and we get to babysit them, they always want to see the same thing on TV. Turn it on, because they know we taped it. Polar Express. It's Christmas, and it's August, and they want to see Polar Express. I love the movie. I've seen it so many times I've memorized the whole movie. You know what the theme is? Believe. The kid didn't believe. And so he couldn't hear the bell. So I want to test myself and all of you. Let's say, if you believe in your Lord and Savior with all your heart and mind and soul and spirit, you'll be able to hear this bell. Did you hear that, Janet? No, you can't, Janet. Nice try. No, you can't fake that. Maybe I don't have enough faith. We have a lot of churches that aren't ringing. And we have a lot of people that aren't hearing God's grace, God's love, God's forgiveness. I don't know. Well, I know this church believes though, don't you? Just say, I believe.
I believe.
The Cowardly Lion said, do I do it? Do I do it? Did he? I I won't make you say that. But one more time, with all your heart and soul and mind and spirit, say, I do believe.
I do believe.
So do I. Ushers, will you come forward for the offering, please?